Do looks in video games matter? I mean, if they didn't, no one would argue about them. And they wouldn't matter this much to immersion, lore, world building, and long-term player connection. We're breaking down hero energy, world consistency, and why fandom reacts so strongly when character designs are completely changed. And I want to start with a simple visual test. This tries to explain everything. Let's start with Nathan Drake. Here's an altered version of him. Same outfit, same pose, but I've widened the nose a little bit, rounded out the jaw. Same world. He looks fine. There's nothing technically wrong here, but he does look out of place. He would be playable. He would still function, I guess, the same way in the game. But something crucial here is missing. And to me, he doesn't look like a hero anymore. He looks like some kind of Disney character. He looks like someone in the world, not someone who belongs at the center of it, anchoring it. And firstly, that distinction matters more than people realize. Nathan Drake isn't just an explorer. He's an idealized version of adventure itself. Confident without being invincible, scruffy but capable, someone danger seems to follow. The kind of guy you want to be. When you soften or flatten that presence, that fantasy also weakens. The mechanics would still work exactly the same, but the desire to inhabit that role could be completely gone, if you know what I mean. And I thought about the multiverse, so let's look at a female version of him. This is just a straight up conversion on Google Gemini. Instantly, something changed. And he looks exactly like I would imagine Lara Croft to be. Athletic, purposeful, confident. Someone who belongs at the center of danger and excitement. And this is where the conversation usually goes a bit wrong, because this tells us something important. The current Lara Croft isn't an outlier. She's basically Nathan Drake, just filtered through a different character lens. Or Nathan Drake is her, the other way around. Same athletic build, same confidence, same main character energy. They share the same design philosophy. Capable, expressive, and physically present. They look like people adventure happens to, not people accidentally caught in that adventure. It's about a character that visually communicates that they deserve to be the hero of their own story. And when that signal is clear, immersion comes naturally. When it isn't, the player feels it immediately, even if they can't explain why. And it does matter. I was playing as a cat yesterday. But let's look at another character, Geralt of Rivia. When identity collapses, this is really important. Here's an altered version of him. Exaggerated, roughened. Again, I've done pretty much the same thing I did with the Nathan Drake picture. I got rid of that iconic balance. And for me, this doesn't work at all. He looks like an orc. He looks like someone you would find in the world. And I don't mean that as an insult. I mean, he no longer looks like someone you want to embody, you want to be for hundreds and hundreds of hours. And Geralt's appeal isn't beauty, it's controlled damage. He looks scarred, experienced, dangerous, but still very human, still thoughtful, still restrained. In this picture, he looks like someone who would be a friend of Geralt. Remove that balance and the fantasy collapses. He stops feeling like a legendary witcher walking the line between monster and man, and starts feeling just like a background character. Could you play as him like this? Yeah, probably. But is it compelling? No. Again, let's flip it. Let's look how he might have looked as a female character. And lo and behold, it turned out just like Ciri. This works, and this is what's happening in The Witcher 4. She carries the same visual story, experience, danger, confidence, and presence. She looks shaped by the world, not swallowed by it, not forgotten by it. So we're not talking about realism, we're talking about identity. So here's another one. Kratos. Kratos might be the clearest example of all. If we flip him over to a female version, it's absolutely wild. And I don't know if it would even fly. Physically dominant. And I think it would really work. And this is a character that's usually defined by his masculinity. But you can see, it's not about that. It's about force, rage, weight, authority. This character still holds that frame. And remember, what are we playing as? We're playing as adventurers. We're playing as gods of war, witchers. So what's actually being tested here? So when people ask, do looks matter in video games? What they're really asking is this: does this character still feel worthy of being the lens through which I experience this world? Because in games, you're not just watching a character, you're inhabiting them. That's why in GTA Online, you can more or less change your character. Whereas in GTA 5, the story, that's fixed. And if that character doesn't feel like they belong at the center of the story, immersion starts to crack. I can get on board with anything, but quietly, gradually, and completely, you'd lose interest. We're not always playing as the hero, remember? So hero energy, though, that's the missing ingredient I'm trying to focus on here. So this is what I actually mean by hero energy, because they could be anti-heroes too. A great protagonist doesn't just exist in their world, they completely anchor them. Nathan Drake looks like the kind of person adventure follows. Geralt looks like someone shaped by centuries of violence. And Kratos looks like a force barely contained by flesh. And whether you're going to change them, in any way, is still needs to embody that. Their designs communicate who they are before they speak. Posture, silhouette, expression, physical confidence. When that clarity is weakened, the player doesn't consciously complain. They just stop leaning in. This also ties directly into world and lore consistency. If your protagonist feels visually disconnected from the tone of the world, the danger, the mythology, the stakes, something there breaks. It becomes less believable. And it's not the same as casting a character in a TV show or a movie, because again, you're embodying this character. So they stop feeling like the inevitable result of that world. They start feeling like a visitor. And being a visitor isn't being immersed necessarily. And that's really bad for games that ask for long-term commitment. This is also why Fandom reacts so intensely to character redesigns. It's not just nostalgia, it's not about just aesthetics. It's instinctive. Fans sense when the visual language that once made a character feel iconic has been disrupted. They might not articulate it very well, and believe me, a lot of people articulate it very badly, but they feel the loss of identity immediately. And once that trust is broken, it's hard to rebuild. And let's be clear about one thing. This isn't about perfection. This isn't about unrealistic beauty. It's not about plastic faces. It's not about everyone looking like a model. It's about intentionality in design. Hero characters especially are designed with a purpose, but so are anti-heroes and bad guys. They communicate role, tone, and presence instantly. And some of these characters are also mascots for their brand. Strip that away and you don't get authenticity. You get ambiguity. And I've talked about this a little bit on the channel before, and it makes you not want to commit. Ambiguity kills immersion. So why this matters more than ever. Modern games are getting longer, they're more demanding, and they're more expensive. They ask players to commit dozens, sometimes hundreds of hours of their time and hundreds of dollars now of their money. And if players don't connect with who they're inhabiting, they don't just criticize the game. They'll probably just leave. That's why some technically strong games still fail to resonate. The character never earns the player's emotional investment. So do looks matter in video games? Yes, of course they do. But it's not about attraction. They matter because visual design tells the player whether a character deserves to be a hero, whether they deserve your time, whether you want to be them, whether they deserve the fandom, whether they deserve to be a representative of their genre. And when that signal is unclear, no amount of writing, mechanics, or realism can fix it. Because in games, the protagonist isn't just someone you watch. They're someone you live as. And if you don't want to be them, you won't stick around. Guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you have something to say on this topic. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.